Alright, Tricky Trees faithful, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you might just shake your world to its very core. Something's brewing at the city ground, and trust me when I say this. It's not what any of us expected when we kicked off the season. With dreams of European glory dancing in our heads, the beautiful game, as they say, is played on grass. And right now, our grass feels more like quicksand. I've got 3 revelations lined up for you today. 3 absolute bombshells that are sending shockwaves through the East Midlands and beyond. We're talking injuries at the worst possible time. A managerial crisis that's got everyone from Trent into Bridgeford asking the same question. And transfer whispers that could rip the heart out of our defense before you can say Brian Clough. First up, there's a player who arrived with fanfare just weeks ago. Someone we thought would solve our problems down the left flank. He's earning serious money. We're talking 6 figures a week. And he was supposed to be the answer to our prayers. But here's the kicker. He's already broken. Sidelined just as international duty comes calling. The lad hasn't even tasted victory in our colors yet. And now he's watching from the treatment room. Then we've got the elephant in the room that nobody wants to acknowledge, but everyone's talking Abo. Out in the pubs, on the terraces, in every WhatsApp group from West Bridgeford to Radford. 5 games without a win. 5. 1 point in the league, 1 in Europe. Knocked out of the League Cup by a championship side, and beaten at home by newly promoted opposition. This isn't just a rough patch, folks. This is a full-blown crisis, and the man in the dugout is feeling the heat like never before. And if that wasn't enough to make you spill your pint, there's vultures circling. Big money vultures from East London who remember what it felt like to lose a European final. And they're eyeing up one of our defensive rocks. The same defender who helped us secure European football last season. The same Serbian giant who's been absolutely immense at the back. They want him. They've got the cash. And worst of all, they've got history with this player. Failed to sign him before. Watched him score against them in a final. And now they're back for round 3. Before I dive into the details that'll make your blood boil, your heart race, and your fingers fly to the comment section, I need to know something. Are you lot as worried as I am? Because honestly, right now, supporting Forest feels like riding a roller coaster in the dark, and I'm not sure whether to scream or just close my eyes and hope for the best. Smash that like button if you're ready for the truth, no matter how brutal it gets. Drop a comment and tell me straight, are you Postecoglou in or Postecoglou out? Because what comes next is going to test every ounce of faith you've got left. Right then, let's start with the injury news that nobody saw coming. There's a left back at the city ground right now who thought he'd found his salvation. His escape route from being frozen out at his parent club. A player who packed his bags, said goodbye to North London, and headed to Nottingham with dreams of regular football, of reminding the world what he's capable of when given the chance. I'm talking about Alexander Zinchenko, and the news that just dropped is absolutely devastating for both player and club. The Ukrainian international, who's on a season-long loan from Arsenal and pulling down a massive £120,000 per week at the city ground, has suffered an adductor muscle injury, according to Ukrainian outlet Tatotek, reported by journalist Zoria Lundinsk. Zinchenko will miss Ukraine's October international fixtures, likely picking up the knock during our defeat to Sunderland at the weekend. Now, here's where it gets properly frustrating. Zinchenko actually completed the full 90 minutes against the Black Cats. He played through whatever discomfort he was feeling, showing the kind of commitment we've been crying out for, and now he's paying the price. Whether the injury happened during the match itself or got aggravated in training this week remains unclear, but the bottom line is this: he's unavailable, and we're facing a defensive crisis at the worst possible time. Think about the timing here, will you? Zinchenko has started all 4 games since arriving on deadline day. He's been one of the few bright sparks in what's been an absolutely miserable start. Under Ange Postecoglou, the lad came to Forest specifically because he was rotting on Arsenal's bench, desperate for minutes to keep his international career alive. He gets his wish, becomes our first choice left back overnight, and within a month, he's sidelined. The financial aspect can't be ignored either. Forest are paying Arsenal a loan fee plus covering a significant portion of those £120,000 weekly wages. That's championship club money for a player who's now watching from the physio's room. The club took a punt on Zinchenko's quality and experience, believing his Premier League pedigree and Arsenal schooling would elevate our back line. Instead, we're potentially looking at weeks without him, right when we need bodies most. What really stings is the context of where we are as a club right now. We haven't won a single match under Postecoglou. Not one. That's 5 games across 3 competitions with just 2 points to show for it. Our defensive structure has been all over the place. We're leaking goals for fun. And now, one of our starting defenders is crocked. Ola Aina and Murillo are already on the treatment table, and now Zinchenko joins them. How are we supposed to implement a new system, a new tactical philosophy, when half our defensive options are unavailable? The Ukrainian camp will be gutted too. Zinchenko's been a mainstay in their setup for years, a leader on the pitch and a symbol of resilience for a nation going through hell. Missing World Cup qualifiers isn't just disappointing, it's heartbreaking for a player who represents so much more than just football back home. From Forest's perspective, we're staring down the barrel of a brutal schedule. Midtjylland in the Europa League on Thursday night, then Newcastle away on Sunday, followed by Chelsea at home after the international break and Porto in Europe. That's for massive matches in the space of 2 weeks, and we might be going into all of them without our first choice left back. Postecoglou hasn't confirmed the extent of the injury yet or how long Zinchenko will be sidelined. Is this a precautionary measure before the internationals? A minor knock that'll keep him out for a week or 2? Or are we looking at something more serious? A proper muscle tear that could sideline him for a month or more? The silence from the club is deafening, and that never bodes well. Here's my question to you lot in the comments. Was bringing in Zinchenko on loan the right move in the first place? Or should we have signed someone younger, fitter, with no injury history and no baggage from being unwanted elsewhere? Because right now, it feels like we've swapped one problem for another. Drop your thoughts below and let me know if you think Zinchenko will come good for us this season, assuming he ever gets back on the pitch. But if you thought that was bad, wait till you hear what's happening with the gaffer. There's a voice echoing around the city ground right now, a voice that's getting louder with every drop point, every defensive howler, every tactical substitution that makes you want to throw your remote at the telly. The voice is asking one simple question: what the hell is going on with Ange Postecoglou? When Forest announced Postecoglou's appointment, the narrative was clear. We'd hired a serial winner, a tactical mastermind who'd won silverware across multiple continents and broken Tottenham's 17-year trophy drought by delivering their first European title in 41 years. On paper, for a club returning to European competition after decades away, Ange looked like the perfect fit. Experience, credentials, a winning mentality, everything we thought we needed. But as the great Brian Clough once said, unfortunately, the game is played on grass. Double quotes, and on our grass right now. Things are falling apart spectacularly 5 games in, and Postecoglou is still searching for his first win. 5 games, 1 point in the Premier League, 1 in the Europa League, dumped out of the League Cup by Swansea City from the Championship, and most recently beaten at home by newly promoted Sunderland. Fans are starting to wonder if this appointment was a catastrophic mistake, and honestly, can you blame them? Let's break down what's going wrong, because it's not just bad luck or a tough run of fixtures. There are legitimate structural issues at play here. First, injuries. Last season under Nuno Espirito Santo, Forest had remarkable luck on the fitness front. Key players stayed healthy, continuity was maintained, and defensive solidity was the foundation of everything we achieved. Fast forward to now, and we've lost 2 of our senior center backs in Ola Aina and Murillo within 3 weeks of Postecoglou's arrival. That's left us scrambling, patching together makeshift defensive partnerships, and it shows every single match. But here's the thing, injuries alone don't explain results this poor. Southampton have been ravaged by injuries and still pick up points. Bournemouth lost half their squad to Knox and still compete. So what else is going on? Individual errors. Chris Wood, our talisman, our goal machine, the man who couldn't stop scoring after we beat Brentford last season. He's gone ice cold, had a 100% conversion rate at one point, and now he's blanking in 3 straight games. That's not on the manager entirely, but it's symptomatic of a team lacking confidence, lacking rhythm, lacking something. Then there's the big one, tactical identity. Postecoglou plays an attractive, possession-based style with a high defensive line and inverted fullbacks, designed to dominate opposition midfields. It's progressive, it's modern, it's everything the Premier League supposedly wants to see. Problem is, our players have had 0 preseason to adapt to it. They've gone from Nuno's rigid, defensive, counter-attacking approach to Ange's all-out attacking philosophy overnight. and they look completely lost. Under Nuno, we prioritized efficiency over possession. We sat deep, absorbed pressure, and hit teams on the break with pace and directness. It wasn't always pretty, but it worked. We finished high enough to qualify for Europe, and that's all that mattered. Now, we're trying to play out from the back with defenders who aren't comfortable on the ball, pushing fullbacks into midfield when we don't have the personnel for it, and leaving gaping holes that opposition forwards are gleefully exploiting. The tactical shift is massive, maybe too massive to implement mid-season without a proper transition period, and that raises the uncomfortable question nobody wants to ask. Does Postecoglou need to compromise his philosophy? Does he need to adapt to the players he's inherited rather than forcing square pegs into round holes? Fan sentiment is shifting rapidly. Social media is ablaze with debates about whether to stick or twist. Some say give him time, let him bring in his own players in January, trust the process. Others are already calling for his head, pointing to the League Cup exit and home defeat to Sunderland as unforgivable. Forest hierarchy backed Postecoglou publicly when they appointed him, promising patience and support. But patience is a luxury you don't have when you're in free fall, when the mood around the club is toxic, when fans are openly questioning whether the board made the right call. Here's the brutal truth. If results don't improve quickly, Postecoglou won't make it to Christmas. Modern football is ruthless, and Forest owners have shown they're not afraid to make tough decisions. They sacked Nuno despite him achieving European qualification. So what makes anyone think Ainge is safe if this winless run continues? I want to hear from you lot. Do you still believe in Postecoglou? Is this just teething problems, or have we made a terrible mistake? Should he abandon his style and adapt, or stick to his principles and hope the players eventually catch up? Comment below and let me know where you stand, because this debate is only going to get more heated as the weeks go on. And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, wait till you hear who's sniffing around our best defender. Right, so we've covered the injuries, we've dissected the managerial crisis, and now it's time for the final gut punch that might just sum up where Nottingham Forest are right now. Imagine this, you've had the worst possible start to a season. Your defense is held together with sellotape and prayers, and one of the few players who's actually performed consistently over the past year is suddenly being targeted by a club with money to burn in a desperate need for exactly what he offers. I'm talking about Nikola Milenkovic, and the club circling like sharks for West Ham United. According to reports, the Hammers are seriously considering a January move for our Serbian center-back. And here's the kicker. This isn't their first rodeo with Milenkovic. This is personal. This is history repeating itself. And it could rip the heart out of our backline just when we need stability most. Let's rewind the tape. Back in 2021, when Milenkovic was at Fiorentina with his contract winding down, West Ham tried to sign him. They held talks with the player and his agent, got close to a deal, but negotiations collapsed over personal terms. Instead, the Hammers pivoted and signed Kurt Zouma from Chelsea. Milenkovic stayed at Fiorentina, extended his contract, and became a Serie A stalwart. Fast forward to 2022, and Fiorentina reached the UEFA Europa Conference League final. Their opponents, West Ham United. Milenkovic played at the London Stadium that night, tasted defeat, but showed exactly why he's considered one of Europe's most underrated defenders. The Hammers remember. Then, in summer 2024, Forest swooped in. We paid Fiorentina approximately £12 million, handed Milenkovic a 5-year contract worth around £105,000 per week, and made him one of the highest earners at the club. Under Nuno Espirito Santo last season, the Serbian was absolutely immense, starting over 35 league matches and playing a crucial role in securing European qualification. He was a leader, a defensive rock, exactly what we needed now. With Nuno gone to West Ham and Postecoglou struggling to impose his vision, the Hammers see an opportunity. They're in crisis mode themselves, having conceded more goals than any other Premier League team this season. Nuno knows Milenkovic inside out, understands his strengths, trusts him implicitly. From West Ham's perspective, signing Milenkovic in January makes perfect sense. A proven defender who fits the system, knows the manager, and addresses their biggest weakness for Forest. Losing Milenkovic would be catastrophic. We've already got Aina and Murillo injured, Zinchenko is now sidelined, and our defensive structure is all over the place. Milenkovic is one of the few constants, one of the few players performing consistently even when everything around him is chaos. Strip him away, and what are we left with? A defensive unit in absolute shambles with no clear path forward. West Ham's board have publicly stated there will be transfer funds available in January and that they'll back Nuno if the Hammers come knocking with a serious offer, say £20 to £25 million. Will Forest stand firm? Can we afford to turn down that kind of profit on a player we signed for half that price? And more importantly, if Milenkovic himself fancies a reunion with Nuno, a move to a bigger club in a better part of London with European ambitions of their own, can we really keep him against his will? The timing is brutal. We're in freefall, desperately trying to stabilize under a new manager, and now we're facing the prospect of losing our best defender mid-season. It's the kind of situation that can derail an entire campaign, turning what should be an exciting European adventure into a relegation scrap. Here's where Milenkovic's attributes become even more crucial. The lad is an absolute beast in the air, dominant at both ends of the pitch. He's exactly the type of defender you want when you're defending set pieces or attacking corners. West Ham have been repeatedly exposed at the back post this season, leaking goals from crosses and failing to deal with aerial threats. Milenkovic solves that problem instantly, and they know it. For Forest fans, this feels like deja vu. How many times have we developed or signed quality players only to watch bigger clubs come calling? It's the curse of being a club on the rise, but not quite at the summit. You punch above your weight, achieve something special, and then the vultures arrive to pick your squad apart. The question now is whether Postecoglou will be willing to let Milenkovic leave in January. If results don't improve dramatically over the next 10 weeks, will the board even consult him? Or will they take the money, cut their losses, and prepare for a potential relegation battle? So here's what I need from you in the comments. Would you sell Milenkovic for £25 million in January? Or is he untouchable regardless of the offer? And do you trust this board to reinvest that money wisely if a sale does happen? There you have it, Tricky Trees faithful. 3 stories that paint a picture of a club at a crossroads, a team in crisis, and a fan base starting to ask serious questions about where this season is headed. Injuries piling up, a manager without a win to his name, and transfer vultures circling our best players. It's not the European adventure we imagined when the season kicked off, is it? But here's the thing about Forest. We've been through worse. We've survived relegations, financial meltdowns, years in the wilderness. If any fan base knows how to weather a storm, it's us. So I'll leave you with this. What does this moment say about who we are as a club? Are we contenders or pretenders? Builders or sellers? A team with ambition or just another mid-table side punching above our weight? Until reality comes crashing down, hit that like button if you made it this far. Drop a comment with your honest thoughts. And subscribe because trust me, this story is far from over. Next time, we'll be diving into potential January reinforcements and whether this squad has what it takes to turn things around. One final question before I go. If you were in charge right now, what's the first decision you make? Sack Postecoglou, sell Milenkovic and rebuild, or stick with the plan and pray things click? Let me know below, because the next few weeks could define our entire season.